Obviously, we came out and had great energy, handled things, everything was going well, and it got to a point where we tied the football game up and even had a chance to go in with a score up. We come out of the half, and as I just said on the post-game show there over the radio, it is completely on me and on my hands to make sure that our football team comes out and plays with great effort, no matter if it goes well, if it don't, and we did not handle when things went poorly. It turned into points. We turned it over, I believe, 4 times in the second half, and then we gave them another short field with the chance for the surprise onside that we didn't execute. So the first thing you got to do is take care of the football, and we also got to own what happened in the second half. And nobody will take it more personal than I will. I thought our guys fought and played their hearts out in the first half, and then again, when things went the other way, we just did not do that. And for 4 weeks, I'll spend every night as long as I have to and every day and try like hell to make sure our guys will fight their guts out for this program for themselves, because it's the right thing to do for them and their futures. And we've got to somehow find a way to get them to do that next week against Minnesota. So I'll let it open to you guys after that. Thanks.
David, this is 2 weeks in a row where you guys played obviously really well in the first half, but it doesn't seem like the same life is necessarily there in the second half. Is it an execution problem? Is it not taking that same enthusiasm or whatever into the second half? What's missing?
We haven't been able to take care of the ball in the second half, and that's the biggest thing. Coach Parker said it. 4 turnovers and a half. There's no way you can. We only scored 7 points. You can say whatever you want to say, but we scored 7 points in the second half, and it's unacceptable for the expectations we have as an offense. And yeah, I mean, coming out of the half, we just got to take that first drive and go score, and that's I can't turn it over, and as frustrating as that is, it's just we gotta start coming out the same as we did in the first half. We just make plays, really.
One of the messages this week was take the next step, and you weren't able to finish again. I mean, can you put your point to why that didn't happen?
I mean, Dave basically hit it, man. We just got to come out and execute at a high level all day, every play, every snap. We just got to leave it all out there on the field, and we didn't do that. We got to come back to work on Monday, and we just got to figure it out and get it done.
DeJuan, it seemed like you guys stopped the run pretty well in the first half. I think you only had 30-something yards, but then they finished with 250-something. Is there something you can point to that was different in the second half?
We just didn't make enough plays on the ball. And the ball in the air, our job is to get it down and take it away. And we just didn't do that as a unit.
Other questions?
David, what sort of tone did that set when, the interception and they score off of that, and then the fumble and they score off that, so now all of a sudden you're down 2 scores after being tied at halftime? Did it just seem to change the emotions on the field too?
Yeah, we got the message to our offense, to our team, is we gotta, we're ready to throw down a little bit when stuff's wrong at the end of the game. After we got routed, we gotta be able to stand up and fight like a man after bad stuff happens during the game. It's not just the post-game stuff. We got everybody's real quick to jump in there, but we gotta be able to do it for one another right off the jump. And as an offense, it just didn't click for us until it was too late, honestly.
David, just to follow up on that, last week, as you said, you guys stood up like a man when bad things happened in Nebraska. What was the difference today? What didn't allow you guys to do that today?
It was just untimely turnovers. We had a couple penalties. We just a couple incomplete, bad errant throws and in the wrong times. Couldn't convert on third down a little bit in the second half, and that kills your momentum. It kills your mojo. It kills everything. Last week we made some of those plays. This week not so much. We made them in the first half, and give some credit to Penn State. Played well. It's as frustrating as it is.
Jared, what kind of second half adjustments, or what adjustments did you make at halftime, and did you not just carry them out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the thing is, you're playing. They're going to they didn't run any new plays as an offense. They went back and stayed to what they do and ran their stretch and zone reads and took shots down the field. We didn't play it as well with the same amount of energy on that side of the football. We sputtered and turned it over on offense, and, you know, you put yourself in we can't survive those things. You can't do that against any good football team. The problem that these guys are talking about, and we'll all own it, and they'll have to own it in order for us to make a step, is that handling it when it does go that way. You know, handling when something does go wrong and being able to change that, and that's a hard thing to flip, you know. And I'll give every ounce of my soul to for the next 4 weeks to try to help these guys get to that point.
Jared, what was the thought process in attempting the onside kick there in the second half?
Yep, we finally got it, I believe, did we get it to 10?
Yeah.
We got it to 10, and with already being a 2-possession game, I thought it was a good time for us to try to cut a possession and steal one back for where we were in the game. I thought it would have helped us a lot to do that. We'd executed and went over it time and time again. The kick doesn't hit its spot and we missed out, so I take full responsibility, but I thought it was a way to try to steal possession back after we'd lost possession to start the half. That was the reason we wanted to go with it.
Jared, a lot of different formations, some trick plays in the first half, which seemed to ignite your team and maybe give some more juice to the stadium, but at what point does this team need to, I guess, execute its base offense and its base defense in order to be successful?
Yes, well, it all goes to that. There's no doubt. You gotta have a base, but you gotta find ways to do what you said. Energy and us keeping guys alive and being aggressive matters. You know, if I'm ever responsible for anything on that side of it, it'll always be that way. We can't just sit there and be stagnant right now and expect to continue to sustain drives throughout a whole. They're a good defense. They make good adjustments to us, change their third down, got up in us a little bit more. You gotta take those risks. And I understand what you're asking in a way of saying, but you do have to execute, but you also gotta find a way to switch it up enough to where you hit one. If one hits and comes out of there, you look real smart. And if it don't, you say, hey, could we have stayed with something base? But when it comes right down to it, on offense, you're always finding for those 2 or 3 things that it's hard to prepare for to use. And then otherwise, you gotta go do what you do and execute the stuff that we've done time and time again.
Juwan, why was Barkley able to have such a big day?
I think it's pretty obvious. We were unable to keep the edge for the entire, mainly the second half. We did a pretty good job of it in the first half. We just wasn't able to come out and do the same thing in the second half, and also some missed tackles. So, yeah, pretty much just that.
Jared, Bilal had a big impact for you, positive early, and then the fumble there late. Just you like getting him in as many areas as possible, and like the idea of having him on returns?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, and I still do. You know, I trust him with my family and with this football team. He knows he should have haircut it. He'll tell you that right now. He's trying to make a play, and I'll go to bat with a guy that tries to make a play all day, every day. He knows he doesn't want to put on the ground. We don't want him to, but he's aggressive. We've had issues back there before. He got the one vertical and changed the game, got us to a short field. So I'll stand for Bilal Marshall any day of the week.
Well, can you talk about the 4th down play where it was the shovel pass that I think it was to Markel? Was that the one design on that, or was that just something you saw?
Yeah, it was a read. Defense coming up the field. I shovel up Markel. If he just sits, I take it around the corner. That's pretty much it. Wasn't too much of a trick play.
Duan, just generally, how do you think the defense played?
First half, I think we did a good job, like Juwan said, keeping the ball inside, but we just gotta make plays, man. I didn't make enough plays to help the defense, and I point the finger at myself. And I'm one of the leaders on this team, on this defense, and I gotta make sure I make plays, so it's all on me.
Jared, just the injury situations, without, I know you don't like to talk specifics, but you guys are just losing players out there. How difficult during a game is that to deal with? I know in the one play you only had 10 guys out there, because I'm not sure anybody knew Kason was out at that moment, but how difficult is some of that stuff to deal with when you're losing players?
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. I mean, when you lose guys like that, heck yeah, it makes it tough. You know, we got to call on the next guy to step up. You all know that. We all know that's the thing to say, and it's also the thing of action we have to do. But we're thin. There's no question about it, especially on defense, and making it hard to practice during the week and all those things. It makes you thin, and it does affect you. But at the same time, let's don't make effort the issue. You know what I mean? Let's don't make effort the issue or hurt ourselves by friendly fire. Those are things we gotta fix. They're factors, of course, but it's not my job, right now to do that. We can't change those things, and where our depth is right now, we've gotta play for those that are lined up, and we're gonna have to find a way to make them better, make them believe better, and give better effort, and find a way to get them to execute the best we can, and then see where we're at. But it's a factor, of course it is. Anytime you lose your guys that you're playing with, and you go to that next set of guys, and those guys have gotta continue to work to know that their number can be called and have to make plays.
Take one or two more.
Coach Parker, when there was the coaching change, that was kind of like, you know, a tangible thing that happened that was able to spark a little bit of a difference in this team. After this loss, what's it gonna take to kind of rediscover that or kind of spark something different in this team?
Yeah, I don't think it'll take, the same thing we've been given and I've been given. I won't change the next 4 weeks. My approach to this, or all those things, I firmly believe that, good days can be had here. You know, not only for the next 4 weeks, but in the future. But in order for that to happen, our biggest hurdle will be taking the next step mentally to get our guys right, to believe in they can win football games and change our locker room, continue to do that. So, my approach to this won't change. It's not like I'm gonna go home and call Mike and say, hey, Mike, I don't wanna do this anymore now. Last week was fun, but this one wasn't. Are you kidding? You know what I mean? Right now, for 4 weeks, I'm the head football coach here. And it's not about me. These guys in my right and left, and those guys in the locker room are the reason I am that. They're the reason that I am. So I owe my heart to them. I'm gonna give it to them, and we will be better in our approach, and that's what we'll do. And I'm gonna give them every ounce of me for 4 more weeks, and then I'll ride off in the sunset.
Juwan, does this team believe it can win games like this right now? And if not, then what's missing from that?
Yes, this team definitely believes it can win football games. Never really been around somebody who goes out a football game expecting to lose, so this team definitely believes that, and we just have to take the next step, as Coach Parker said.
Last one.
David, what do you need to do to finish?
Have some production when it matters, and that's, and it matters every single play. And I tell you what, and this game is it's too much of a game of inches to turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win. It's too much of a game of inches to, miss a receiver or have a drop ball or anything and expect to win a game. You gotta be sharp in everything you do and lay it on the line for every single one of the guys in the locker room, and so we just gotta sacrifice a little bit more.
Thanks, everybody.